Hi everyone. Now we are on our fifth week, fifth meetings of our modules, and now we are um, discussing the second part of food and beverage operations. Previously, we already touched about the some department of food and beverage, which are operating in front of the house. Now, at this time, we will discuss about department that working mostly back of the house. There are catering department and kitchen, room service, and stewarding department. The the first one is the catering department. I think I kind of mentioned in the beginning that catering department and banquets, they are responsible to serve guests with a variety of occasions such as weddings, birthdays, graduations, and so on. Um, Sometimes people think or ask, what are the differences between catering and banquets? Um, Mostly when we said catering, it means that the 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 service that they offer it's off premises. What does it mean is we as a guest we can invite service from hotel, um, and they can uh, serve from the foods and the service from the guest place, the guest house, or that the guest has um, third-party locations or building that can be used as a place to serve the cater. Um, banquets is, if the catering is off premise, banquet is on premise. So the guests have a certain occasions, and they want to make any same thing like weddings or uh, birthday and so on, but they have it in the house, in the hotel. Hotel have a different type of function rooms. They have from small ones, and they also have from medium ones, and they have a large one. Usually they call it ballroom. In the ballroom, it can fit from 300 people. Some hotels they can fit from 1,000 to 2,000 hotels, 2,000 people. I mean, catering department is led by director of catering, and the director of catering also have a report um, to food and beverage director. The director of catering must be able to sell conventions, banquets, and functions. They also needs to set standards of their catering and banquet department. How well they set the restrictions to make sure that the service they deliver is the first class service. Kitchen. Kitchen is the food productions. Is divided into food production and bakery pastry productions. The bakery pastry production usually they create desserts. That's the last meal that usually people have from when they have a when they dine in the restaurants. Kitchen is led by executive chef. It varies to different size of properties. The smaller the properties, probably the level of the leader it's smaller than executive chef. Um, Most of them they are responsible to controlling cost, because when you have they call it kitchen brigade, when they have a big employees and they're responsible to food, make sure the food is fresh. It means that you have to deal with cost. um, the food cost itself, the labor cost, and to have make sure any variable cost is covered. When you have when you maintain a good food cost percentage and labor cost percentage, that will show that the kitchen department is doing very well. Room service, or sometimes we call it in-room dining. This is where if guest stays in the room and they want to order food or beverage, they can call this department and then they will order the food from kitchen, and the kitchen make the food and they deliver. They bring the foods to the guest room and serve. It depends if it's a lot of orders, and they can use a quite big of trays, um, rolling trays, or they can also just, if it's just minimum, they can just place the orders on the guest uh, uh, table in the room. Uh, Most of this room service, they have quite challenges because it's limited. Sometimes when you are staying in the hotel, guests tend to to eat your food outside. They don't want to, you know, eat their food in the room. They want to go outside. They want to feel the atmosphere. They're traveling. They're tired, but they want to have different atmosphere. So it's a challenge for them to how they sell their foods. Make sure the foods have a no complaints, and delivering the orders on time. This is very important because when the guest order steak and the guest order um, just bruschetta, it's different time when you need to know how fast you need and how efficient you are, because for steak it takes you between 15 to 25 minutes, depends how do you want the steak cooked. So it means you have to know the timing very, very well. Stewarding department, chief steward have a big responsibility of this. What do they do? Well, they have to make sure that all the equipments of people use in the restaurant, banquets, all in the food and beverage, make sure they have this clean and tidy. Um, the glassware, china, cutlery, it needs to be make sure it's cleaned by using the right chemicals and the right temperature to make sure it's the sanitation and the safetiness, it's fulfilled. Um, the last but not least, now we will discuss a little bit about the trends. Um, I'm not gonna talk about all of them. Though something that I need to brought this up is it's been, I would say, 3 5 years now. People are now more have awareness for their healths. If you see the bottom of my slides, it says more low fat, low carb menu items, vegetarian menu, specific ingredients, specific um, a type of food that or people that have allergies in certain ingredients. This thing is very, very how am I going to say? It's very common now. So when they, you know, back then they just order A, B, C, and you know what you expect. But now when you order A, B, C, a guest can probably, can I have this without sugar? Can I have this without nuts? Can I have this without salt? Or can I have salt only? And so on and so on. It's more toward the guest health, and it's very sometimes for servers they think, oh, it's too much. Oh my God, why you want to even eat here if you cannot eat anything? But in this TNH, it's just needed service. The first class service you have to make sure, because you don't want to have a guest have problem after leaving your restaurants or banquets or lounge. And you don't want to have that, because it's a lot, and then there's a lot of big liabilities there. Um, and the rest, you can always ask me if you have questions about the rest of the trends. And of course, we have a forums a discussion that we can use that for discussing this particular parts. And I think it's there for now, and we'll see you next week.